Hello, back again. How are you guys doing today? I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you. Back at it again with some more stories. And the theme today, oh, let me introduce myself again. I'm Ashley. This is Funnily Enough. And I'm here to just read some Reddit stories, have a little think about how I would react in these scenarios. And I'd love to hear in the comments what you think and how you'd react because these stories are crazy out here. I don't know what people are doing, and it intrigues me, and I need to talk about them. So I'm going to talk about them with you. And the theme today is about gift giving and if gift giving is a love language or if it is, in fact, a hate language. Personally, my love languages are physical touch, quality time. I'm not really big into gifts. However, I think that there are certain times of year, like your birthday or Christmas, where you might be anticipating your partner to get you a nice gift, get you something that you really need or you really want, and for them to just spend some time thinking about a nice thing for you. So I've pulled some stories here about drama around gift giving, and let's go ahead and get started. So, the first story that I have here is from Am I Overreacting from user Enchanted Crafts with a Z. That's fun. And they write in. So, I was reading this story and was very confused because OP listed themselves as a male and their spouse as a male, but it turns out that OP is actually a female. So I got very confused when OP was talking about experiencing postpartum. So I'm going to start from the beginning here. You guys don't know how much I was fighting for my life reading this story just now and very thoroughly confused. So let's start from the beginning. My spouse, 37 male, and I, 39 female, have been married 10 years recently with a newborn. He works as a small business owner, and I have a full time job that's not as lucrative or stressful, but I also help with marketing his business. It's constantly a tension in our relationship, and he feels financial pressure of running the business and wishes I'd quit my job and work full time for him, like I did for the first 5 years of the business. I have my PhD in a different field, and when working for him, he was so intense and disrespectful, I was going to separate. He's since realized how shitty he was, sort of, but wants me to trust him enough to help more. We have a toddler and a newborn, and this time around with our newborn, he's been much more helpful with early morning feedings, taking on more chores around the house, insisting we hire a night nanny so I don't go crazy in postpartum, getting great nutrition, practicing as a birthing partner a couple of weeks, etc. Almost every Christmas since we've been together, we are together opening gifts with extended family, and he gets me nothing. When dating, I was sort of thrown and was like, oh, let's make sure to get me something next year. And then would remind gently, Christmas is coming up. Is there something you'd like in particular, etc.? And sometimes he'd let me know. Often it's a very expensive graphics card, which I'm like, no way will I track the volatile Nvidia. Girl, I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to insert that somewhere. Nvidia. Girl, I don't know what that is. Future editing Ashley here. So it looks like OP actually meant NVIDIA, and NVIDIA can actually power gaming by designing powerful graphic processing units. And these cards that they make that can help with like rendering high fidelity visuals and high drive frame rates and things like that that are beyond my knowledge. These graphics cards can run for like $1,000, $2,000. Some of the cheaper ones were like $300, $400, $500, but that's still pricey. So the more you know. Prices. to know when to buy him the latest card. But I always get him something I've paid attention to that he'll love, like a compass he needs for orienting, etc. Plus, of course, I get all the family gifts, including his parent and siblings. And almost every year, he still doesn't get me anything. Literally nothing. I don't want his actions to overwhelm me or my son's enjoyment of the day, but it's such an effing trope that husband doesn't get wife anything and she watches while everyone else opens her gifts she bought them. He does plan dates more than I do, and I know if there's anything I want, he will tell me to go buy it. I usually have inexpensive taste and don't like coveting expensive things. And a couple times, I forgot our wedding anniversary, and he surprised me with a card. He's been chill about it when I forgot to. And we'll plan things for my birthday. A boating day last year, we went big with International Baby Moon, etc. Aw, my dog is stretching. He's been chill about it when I forgot too. And we'll plan things for my birthday, like a boating day last year. We went big with International Baby Moon, etc. But he often won't get me a physical gift. For Christmas, I made it clear. One, I want something purchased before the holiday. Two, I want him to give any thought about what he knows that I like a pretty stone, favorite snacks, a planned reservation somewhere. And three, that I want to unwrap it on Christmas Day. So, am I overreacting or should I just accept that we each have relationship blind spots and that this is his, which is what he says every year and he'll try more? I will add that my parents certainly seem to think he's the asshole and they don't bring it up, but I'm like, dude, why do you want to be publicly shamed by the situation, not by me overtly, in front of my family as the douchey husband trope every year? Seeking insight from any husbands that are this person as to why and how. That's actually really interesting that she's not wanting to get like other victims' perspectives. She doesn't want to hear from the wives who also don't get gifts from their husbands. She wants to hear from the husbands who suck at like not getting gifts for their spouses. And I will say, I think you're barking up the wrong tree by coming onto Reddit and asking these guys, like, why do you do this? Because I don't think these are the kind of guys who are going to have the introspective nature to, let me go onto Reddit and see if there are other people like me who suck and don't get their wives presents. So I don't know how many people you're going to hear from who don't buy their wives presents and they're going to be here to offer their insight on Reddit. I don't think that's going to happen. No, I don't think that you're overreacting. Like you said, there have been things in the past that you've forgotten. You've forgotten an anniversary or something, and he'll surprise you with like a card, which is nice. But I don't think that you forgetting an anniversary, maybe every now and again, means that you should never, ever, ever get a Christmas present? Are you kidding? I just don't. You have a toddler, you have a newborn, and you've mentioned that he's been more helpful, but I bet that you're probably taking on the brunt of the work. On top of that, you put your own career on hold to help him with his career. On top of that, you're the one who takes on the mental load of thinking about what his parents like and what his siblings like and getting them Christmas presents every year. And he can't take 5 seconds to get you a Christmas present. Get out of here with that. No, 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 no. That's not going to work. That's not fair. I'm not saying run and get a divorce by any means. I'm not saying that, but I think it's time to have a serious conversation with him about the importance of feeling appreciated and respected. And again, you can thank him with, I very much so appreciate that you've been more helpful with taking care of your child. I appreciate that. That's great. We both should be contributing equally into parenting and nurturing our children. But I also want to feel appreciated on holidays and special occasions as well. You don't bring up your birthday, but on your birthday, on Christmas, on the holidays, you want him to take the time and the initiative to, what does my wife like? What does she need? What does she deserve? She's been working hard. Let me get her a gift card to go get a massage. Let me buy her some pretty flowers. Let me buy her a nice piece of jewelry to symbolize how much I love her. He can take 5 seconds to do that. If the man can be a business owner, he can put aside 5 minutes to think about what kind of gift you would like. It is harder to be a business owner than it is to think about what your wife would like for Christmas. I guarantee you that. So no, you're not overreacting. Sit down with him and tell him that he needs to buy you a goddamn present. Let's read some of the top comments. So top comments, not overreacting. My only question is, how did you let your relationship last this long when he can't even do the simple courtesy of buying you a Christmas present? OP responds, oh my God, there are moments I ask the same thing. But like I said, in other ways, he's super considerate and plans dates regularly. It's not that he's not generous with me or our kids either. It's just he's real dumb in this one way, it seems. I'm baffled. Another person writes, not overreacting, but he sees you as something he doesn't have to be grateful for and someone he can take advantage of. You worked for him full time and he treated you like shit. Now he wants you to work for him again, and that is stupid, putting all your eggs in one basket with 2 kids. If his business fails, at least you'll have a job and vice versa. And he's never once gotten you a Christmas gift, despite demanding really expensive gifts from you. Girl! Employees get bonuses, nannies get tips. Don't let him treat you like an object he can use and toss in the corner when he's busy. I have a little bit of experience with this too. Not that my partner doesn't get me like gifts, but my dad is not really a gift giver. He's not really very thoughtful per se when it comes to buying presents for holidays. I remember once for like Valentine's Day, he went to Publix the morning of, bought like 3 bags of Hershey's Kisses, and like he just handed me and my sister and my mom the bag of Hershey's Kisses, like with the receipt still in the bag. So like not really the most thoughtful, but he just has never really been that guy. And I know that it's not that fun, right? From my mom's perspective, to just be given like a a bag with Hershey's Kisses and the receipt still inside. It's not the most romantic, it's not the sweetest. I would say on the working for him front, don't do that. I think that you have 2 children, like this top comment says. It would be silly for you to have your own job and for you to quit that job to work for him when in the past he didn't even really treat you all that well. I don't think it's a good idea to put all of your eggs in one basket with 2 young children and for you to just quit your job and work for him. So no on that front. I think that you need to sit down with him and tell him, listen, I'm your wife. I'm the mother of your kids. I'm appreciative that you've been more helpful with parenting our children. But I also want to feel appreciated when it comes to the holidays. And I do know and appreciate that you've put time into planning dates and planning our baby moon. those are wonderful. That's great. But come Christmas time, I also would like you to take a little bit of time to buy me a gift. I spend time getting presents for your parents and your siblings. I get you a present. You've asked for these apparently very expensive cards, and I never get anything from you, and I don't like that. And I will no longer be putting the effort into buying gifts for your parents and your siblings if you can't also appreciate me. So, or better yet, I'll be buying gifts for your parents and your siblings, but that gift will be labeled for me and me alone. It will not be from you because they didn't do anything wrong. Parents and siblings did not do anything wrong. He did something wrong by not getting you a Christmas gift ever. So, no, you can tell him that from now on, he will take care of his own parents' gifts, his own siblings' gifts, if he can't spend some time getting you something for being his wife and mother of his children. So you're not overreacting, and this guy needs to get a grip and get you some freaking presents because I know for a fact that you've worked hard for them and you deserve them. So there's that. All right, that's the first story. Story number 2. This is also coming from Am I Overreacting? This is from user Stellar System. This story is a year old. Am I overreacting? I got gifts I specifically said I didn't want for Christmas. I'm a trans guy, and my dad's girlfriend and I have frequently talked about how I don't like feminine stuff. For some reason, that's one of the only things we talk about, really. And then for my Christmas gifts, she bought me all feminine things, like pink purses, pink headphones, pink jewelry, which made me uncomfortable, confused, and sad. So I pulled her aside and respectfully told her I really appreciate that she wanted to give me the gifts, but they make me uncomfortable, and I think she should return some of them. I kept some things like a camera, iPad case, and stickers. I thought she'd be excited to get her money back, and I was going to be free of the discomfort from the gifts. I thought I was doing the right thing and respecting myself, but now she's sad and told my dad, and now they're both upset with me. My dad said he's disappointed in me, and I just feel so misunderstood and misjudged because they don't know how I felt when opening those gifts. We literally talked about how I hate feminine stuff all the time. My dad said I'm overreacting and should just accept the gifts and just say thank you because she was trying to be nice. Am I tripping? Am I overreacting or doing too much? Should I have just accepted it? That makes me sad. That makes me sad that, you've had this discussion over and over with your dad's girlfriend about not liking feminine stuff, wanting to respect yourself and who you are and how you represent yourself and how you feel. And I would hope and pray that she's genuinely just trying to come from a nice place and give you gifts, but it also does seem kind of like a slight that she would only get you things that are like pink. She could have bought you any of those things and them not be pink. She could have got you purses that were black or headphones that were white or jewelry that was just gold, but she's like, nah, it has to all be pink. So it kind of does feel like a little bit of a slight that she is getting you things that are specifically all pink. It sucks that your dad also didn't even try to understand where you were coming from. He just came at you disappointed that you wouldn't just say thanks and take these things. I think that if you were to just take those gifts without saying anything, she's just going to keep doing it. Unfortunately, I think she's just going to keep not listening to you and get you these things that you don't want. If we were to put any other circumstance here, if you were someone who was atheist and you're, dad's girlfriend just bought you a bunch of Bibles, that would be bizarre. Why are you doing that? If you were not an athletic person at all, and then she just went out and bought you, like basketball and tennis rackets. That would be weird. Like it just seems like she's going out of her way to just get you things that are the opposite of what you're asking for, or at least in a color scheme that you're really not liking. You don't like feminine things, and she's getting you all these pink things. So I don't think that you're overreacting. I think that you need to sit down, both your dad and his girlfriend, and really explain from your heart, you guys, I really want you to understand. I do not like these feminine things. I am so appreciative that you've taken the time to get me anything at all, to think about things that you think that I would like, headphones, jewelry, purse, whatever it may be. But I really would appreciate if you would not get them in pink. It does not represent who I am, how I view myself, how I see myself. And I would really prefer for you to not get me things in this color, things that are more feminine and girly, because that's just not me, please. And if she keeps getting you these things this way, I would just keep giving them back to her altogether and not take any of them. I don't think you're overreacting at all. I think that she's being petty, and I don't like that for you. Top comments: not overreacting. Honestly, it feels purposefully disrespectful. Does she respect your pronouns? Ever dead name you? She knows what she's doing. Another comment: not overreacting. They're completely disregarding your feelings and identity. Another comment: not overreacting. Fuck that shit. I watch my brother go through this all the time with less accepting family members, and I hate it. So yeah, I would have loved to try to give her the benefit of the doubt, but everything she's getting you is pink. It seems like she's doing it on purpose. I don't think you're overreacting, and I think you need to be very clear. I appreciate you getting me something for Christmas, but if you're going to get me things that are pink and girly, I'm going to be returning them. I do not want them. That's it. That's it. Okay, so next story is coming from Am I the Asshole? This is a year old, from No Vanilla 6996. Am I the asshole for being disappointed with the presents I got for Christmas? My 34 male husband and I, 32 female, do Christmas different. Every year, instead of waiting until Christmas to open presents, we'll just randomly pick a day and open them. We don't have kids, so it works for us. It's nice to have the option to wait or not. This year, I got him a new phone, 2 pairs of shoes, and some weed and RSO to help with his fibro. What's RSO? I'll have to look that up and put that here for those of you who also don't know what that is. When I opened mine the other day, he got me a rug for the bathroom, pots and pans, and a stand mixer. The only thing I mentioned wanting out of all of that was the stand mixer. Not for myself, but because he'll get in the mood to bake cookies, get 2 minutes into mixing, then pass me the bowl because his arms hurt. It's tiring mixing 2 to 3 batches of cookies that I didn't even want to make in the first place, so I've mentioned a stand mixer to help him. I'm disappointed and honestly feel like it's a cop-out on getting me something personal. I've mentioned a specific perfume I've wanted all year. I've mentioned slime because it helps me... I've mentioned slime because it helps keep my hands busy and shit if I'm not a child at heart. I don't know about that sentence. His reasoning behind the pots and pans is because we need new ones and he thought I'd like them. The rug is because he knows I use a towel when I get out of the shower to step on. It's cute, but not my style at all. It was something he chose because he liked it. Everything he got me was a logical choice made for us to use. Last year, he wanted a new vacuum for Christmas because he's got OCD and likes to clean. So I got him a nice one. Our other one worked fine. I also got him other personal things, but point is, I got him the things he wanted. I'm just disappointed that he couldn't have been bothered to get me anything personal. And when I brought it up, he said, "Sorry, you don't like your presents. I thought they were a nice choice." Like, I know I sound ungrateful. He could have gotten me nothing. I just want to know if I'm being ungrateful for being disappointed in my gifts. No, I do not think that you are being ungrateful. I think that gifts for someone's birthday, gifts for Christmas should be things that this person has specifically asked for themselves, or it should be a joint conversation that, hey, we both need this for the house. It would be great if we could get this for Christmas. For example, me and my fiance, we are getting really tired of our mattress. It's a little out of control. That mattress is upwards of 10 years old. So we said to each other, you know what? No presents. Let's just go in on a mattress because we both need it and we both want it, right? When it comes time to your husband making these cookies, if he was like, "Babe, I'm going to make cookies," you're like, "Yes, I love making cookies. Let's make these cookies together. I love when we do this together." And he's like trying to mix it. He's like, "Oh, babe, my arms hurt. Help me." And you're like, "Absolutely. I would love to help you because I love baking cookies with you." If he was like, "You know what? I know we love baking cookies together. I'm going to get a really nice stand mixer so that making cookies together is this fun, enjoyable experience." That would be different. But he's waking up and saying, "I want cookies," starts the process and is like, "Damn, my arms are tired. You finish the job." You know what? Let me get my partner a stand mixer for the cookies I want. No, I don't think that you're the asshole for being disappointed. I think that gifts should be something that the person wants, not something that you're going to benefit from. I know that's the equivalent of getting your partner a vacuum so you can incentivize them to clean more. I don't think that you're overreacting at all. I don't think you're the asshole at all. And let's read the comments to see if I'm in the right or if I'm in the wrong. So, top comments, not the asshole. My ex husband would do the same thing. I would go all out for him, and he would get me things he wanted, and he even bought himself gifts. Very selfish. Once he got me two necklaces, but ruined it by telling me it was BOGO and on sale. Not the BOGO gifts. Your husband does not think about you and what you like or want. Selfish and self centered. Sorry. No. Another comment, my spouse and I don't exchange gifts for any holiday, Christmas, Valentine's, birthday, because we buy stuff for ourselves throughout the year. If he wants it, he buys it, and vice versa. Buy yourself that perfume. He can buy himself the next vacuum. And OP responds, "At this point, I feel this way." You haven't said that your husband is constantly buying you these terrible gifts. So I think it would be a little bit of a leap to say, "You know what? We're never buying each other gifts ever again. I'll just buy stuff when I want it, and you just buy stuff when you want it, and that's that." I think that might be a little overkill. I think you need to just sit down and express to your husband, "Listen, I again appreciate that you got me something for Christmas. However, since you are the one who craves cookies and starts the process of baking, and when you get tired you are like, oh, help me mix this." I think that getting a mixer is something that's more helpful to you. So I would appreciate if, when you think about buying me gifts, that you think about things that I use and I want and things that I've specifically asked for. I've never asked for a stand mixer. So I don't think that that gift makes a whole lot of sense to me. I think in any logical, rational relationship, you should be able to sit down with your partner and say, "Hey, you got me this thing and I don't really see much of a use for it. This seems more like something for you than it does for me. I'd appreciate if you'd get me something that I want." And I think if your partner is rational and sane, they'd be like, "Damn, you know what? I do like making cookies more than you do. That mixer was probably a little bit more for me. Sorry about that, babe. I'll get you something better next time around. Like, I think that it should just be that simple. If you're having to fight about this, I think that there's a deeper problem at hand. But again, it doesn't sound like your husband is constantly buying you things that you don't really want. So hopefully you can just have that conversation with him and then move on with your lives. I hope that you are able to enjoy the cookies that he makes with the mixer. All right, story number 4. This is from Am I the Asshole? The user is deleted. Am I the asshole for asking my mom to include my wife in holiday gift giving? Oh my God. You have to ask your mom to do that? Oh God, I fear I'm not going to like this mom. Let's see. So my mom always gets me the best gifts. This year for Christmas, I got a snowmobile, and Sunday she gave me an Easter basket that was easily a couple hundred. The issue is she has never given a gift to my wife, Amy. I'm gonna cry. What do you mean? Amy pointed it out multiple times in the previous years, but I feel uncomfortable saying anything as we weren't officially married, so she wasn't technically part of the family. Christmas, I could tell Amy was pretty pissed, so we talked about it as a couple and agreed I would confront her next time. So Easter rolled around and we went to my mom's house for a quick visit, and my mom gave me a basket. I saw Amy's face and knew I had to do something, so I pulled her aside and explained that Amy is my wife and her daughter-in-law, and at this point should be included in family gift giving. My mom seemed genuinely confused and told me she would never expect a gift from her mother-in-law. I told her that it was important that she recognize Amy as family, and she got upset and said she wasn't her child. And while, of course, she's my family, she's not hers. Oh my God. We left to go to my in-laws, and my mom texted me that night that she's upset and she feels I'm being presumptuous with her money, and reminded me that Amy isn't her child. It doesn't have to be something extravagant, but I feel she needs to get her something before this ends up in just not mother-in-law territory. There is no questions here. Your mom is a fucking asshole, and you're an asshole if you don't nip this in the butt immediately. Are you kidding me? She's not my daughter. She's not my family. Oh my God. No. No. All right, let's read. I'm going to have a stroke. Let's read the top comments. Oh my God. Any holiday that my unmarried children celebrate with me, they bring their significant others. I always have gifts for them as well because it's rude as fuck not to. Your mom is a bitch. She is. You're the asshole for waiting until Easter to say something to your mom when you should have had this conversation long ago. The day you promised your wife to finally say something is the day you should have said something. Your mom just basically excluded herself from your family and any children you have. If your wife isn't your family, then neither will your kids be her grandkids. Oh my God. I don't really have anything else to say about it. To have to write into, I can't even speak. I'm flabbergasted. You're an asshole. Your mom is an asshole. I hope to God, Amy, wherever you are, run away. Run away. Run away. Last story. This is coming from Am I the Asshole? From user Rach Face. It's a year old. Am I the asshole for being annoyed that my husband bought me Christmas gifts? Were they bad? Is that why? Let's see. My husband, 34 male, and I, 33 female, have been together for 14 years and married for 8. In the first 4 years or so together, we always bought each other gifts for holidays and birthdays. My husband is not a great gift giver, typical, but his intentions were good, so it never bothered me. However, I am pretty particular about my things and feel bad not wearing or using things he buys me. Also, I'm growing more and more minimalist every year and kind of just hating having stuff. The last few years, especially, my least favorite part of the holidays is receiving gifts because it's just stuff I don't need. I don't like and don't want. And despite telling friends and family not to get me anything or that I would rather do something together as my gift, I still just get stuff. I'm not ungrateful. I just wish people would save their money and stop giving me things that I then have to store somewhere for a couple of years to then donate. The silly thing is, I enjoy buying gifts for people. That's ironic. I spend hours and hours looking for the perfect gift for people, but if someone told me they'd rather not exchange gifts or would rather spend the money doing something together, I would totally respect that. My husband and I really like to travel and always go on expensive overseas trips once a year. I thought it was multiple trips. I'm like, damn, bring me with you. They usually go on inexpensive overseas trip once a year. So, about 6 years ago, I threw out the idea that we should skip getting each other Christmas gifts and instead use the money towards a trip. My husband was on board, score. Again, this year, I threw out the idea to skip gifts and use it for the trip we're planning for the next year. He plays guitar as a hobby and currently has his eyes on a couple guitars. His birthday is in early December, so I told him we can go get one for his birthday, but reiterated that I still do not want any gifts. However, I received an order confirmation a couple days ago that was accidentally sent to my email instead of his for an art kit and a wearable blanket, totaling $400. I couldn't help but be annoyed and feel bad for being annoyed. I feel like I should be grateful that I have a spouse who tries to be thoughtful, but he has given me two more wearable blankets already over the past few years. Why the wearable blankets? And neither of them get used ever. And over $300 on an art kit, that is just crazy to me, especially because I craft as a hobby maybe once a year. I'm an accountant and I keep a budget for our finances, so it's frustrating to me because we could have used that money towards something fun on our trip or a nice date night out, or I could have spent it on something I actually needed or wanted. Am I justified being annoyed or am I the asshole? Also, if anything, I could kindly ask to return it without hurting his feelings, or do I just accept that $400 is out the window and find a home for these items in a closet? Oy. Well, I mean, I don't love that you and your husband, you sat down, you talked about, let's not do gifts. Let's just spend money on like a holiday together for Christmas. Let's just do that. And then he agrees and then goes out and buys you $400 worth of stuff, and one of the things he bought you is something he's already bought you twice before that you clearly are not using. So this sounds like another instance of like partners just not freaking listening to me when I say something. And man, I don't know. I can kind of appreciate him being like, "Oh, I'll just get her." Okay, let me backtrack. The idea of, man, I'd really love to just get her a little something. I know we said no gifts, but I went to the store and I bought you like a little $25 gift card so you can buy yourself something. I get it. I get that. I get that. I've been guilty of that. I have been guilty of that. My family does Secret Santa. And if I don't get my fiance as my Secret Santa, of course I'm still going to get him something. I mean, the rules are that you're not supposed to buy anybody else anything, but of course I'm still going to get my fiance something. So I kind of get that even if you agreed on not buying each other something, that he would get you a little something, but him going out and spending $400 buying you things that you really don't want and are not going to get any use out of, that's ridiculous. So I would tell him, babe, please, Let's please return this. I would much rather spend the $400 having multiple dinners on our vacation together. Please, I appreciate it. I do. But like, I did not want this. This was not the best use of our money. We can spend this money on having excellent food and drinks on our wonderful vacation. Case closed. I don't think there's any other conversation that needs to be had here. Let's read these comments. So, top comment, not the asshole. You guys agreed to it, and the GIF is clearly not something you even use, as you have two of them already. Another comment, not the asshole. Just talk to him and see if he can return it. And I think we can just leave it there. Just give it back to him. Give him the receipt. Babe, return this. Please, for the love of God, get that $400 back and let's go to a nice dinner instead. Oh my God. You know, I think we've learned here that men with gifts, I don't think this is something new. This isn't revolutionary. Men with gifts, it's just difficult, huh? Clearly. I think that's what we really learned here. But that's all that I have today. That's what I've got for you today. I'm pretty hungry. My stomach was gurgling throughout recording this, so I'm going to stop now and I think I'm going to have a bagel. But it's been so real. I appreciate you guys being here with me again. Like, subscribe, follow, share, and I'll be back with some more stories. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.